The Greater Banquet Crystal offer is back, and of course it had to come back. Money, 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 money. Gabe Frizzera, former creative director of Marvel Contest of Champions, shares a Marvel Snap crossover first and foremost, and then also shares an MCOC event that didn't go in. A really cool story which we're going to look into in a minute, and King Groot and Loki arena predictions. Yes, hello everybody, welcome back to the MCN for Friday. There's not a huge amount going on. This is the final MCN show of the year because, well, the shows are always Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and there's not one on a Saturday. So yeah, so Deadpool, you got anything to say?
Oh, Logan, you're the best there is at what you do. Oh, Logan, I love it when you call me Bub.
That's kind of weird. The first time you said that? Very weird, though. Okay.
That was actually kind of fun.
We kick off by looking at this. A potential, well, not potential, it was kind of like a pitched crossover between Marvel Contest of Champions and Marvel Snap. Now, how that would really be done is not by kind of going like, oh, the two games combine. It would just be a case of like sharing assets like characters. And we'll go into like just showcasing some of the stuff in a second. So Gabe Frizzera, who, if you don't know, is the former creative director at Kabam. Very sad that he kind of like left this year, because I know that he wanted to follow his own kind of dreams, passions, and kind of goals, because he's been with Kabam for a long time. But then there's a lot of things that I kind of feel haven't really been done with Kabam this year, which would have been nice. Like, you know, we haven't seen a event tease for next year to get like people hyped around the game and kind of going, oh, what champion could be coming in, or just kind of these like fun things to kind of know where the story is going, which have kind of diminished in the last year. So kind of like go figure. So Gabe says in this little tweet, last year I started playing the beta for Marvel Snap and fell in love with it so much that I made some fan cards with original MCC champions as Snap cards. I even asked if Marvel could show them to the Snap team. Who knows, maybe one day they'll do an MCOC Snap crossover. And you can see in shot right here, it's kind of like a guillotine, kind of like a, you know, fun like crossover type thing, which again would be cool with some like little kind of like things with abilities and stuff like that. There's one for Morningstar. I know these look pretty sick, to be honest. It's just one of these things where would they actually like, do a crossover? It just would be really cool. Sometimes I don't think it's like, you know, it happens too much. Others, you know, I would love to see characters like Aegon, Guillotine put into the Marvel universe, even like, well, they're in the Marvel universe, but more so in like things like Marvel Cinematic Universe, because they have original or interesting stories. I think Guillotines is very, very good. That could be a nice like Disney Plus type show at some point. But there's been nothing of like, you know, she hasn't had a full comic book run. But it's, you know, when he's wishful thinking, it's maybe not in my lifetime, but maybe in like, you know, our children's lifetimes, that you might see these characters in either the MCU, or you'll see them as Disney Plus show, or you'll see them as comic book run first. Comic book run first, then you can start talking about the other stuff. Again, it depends on popularity and stuff like that. But these characters have original stories. They're interesting as well. Again, another interesting thing that Gabe Frizzera posted the other day, which was about a unused story. You can see here that we've got Guillotine and Doctor Strange in the procession, and I was interested to know like what this story was about. And as Gabe says, another unused story idea from the archive. Stephen Strange is chilling at a cafe in Paris and and notices a cute redhead walking by, followed by a procession of ghouls that only he can see. He decides to investigate, which leads him to the haunted underworld of guillotines. And Gabe says, although the idea never came to fruition, it became the basis of a relationship of Doctor Strange and Guillotine in the game, which at times got close to romantic attachment, but eventually cooled off. And again, going further to say, eventually Stephen became Guillotine's teacher, helping her understand and control her powers of the sword. Eventually, Strange would teach Guillotine, Gilly, to unlock new mystic powers that she has no idea she has. Which again, another cool thing, another kind of like more depth to the character of Guillotine, which is good. But also that kind of element of, okay, well, the way that the sword, the fleur de la mal kind of works, the ghouls that follow guillotine, and how Doctor Strange can see that. Again, it's great dynamic that could be part of like a great comic book idea. Shame it never, as I said, shame it never came to fruition, because it could be a case you could have had something with like the ghouls being like a thing going, okay, well, the ghouls could be part of the particular event and saying like, oh, collect X amount of ghouls for the store, or ghouls unlock something or other where you go and do a thing. So yeah, it's a shame it was an unused story. Would have been nice to have that. But I think this is going to be the most epic one. So this comes from an early pitch of Marvel Contest of Champions. This particular story reel right here, which Gabe has referred to as Dignus Moldar. Earlier studies I did for Contest of Champions depicting story moments. Some of them made them into the game, others never happened. Now, the interesting thing about this is the characters, which you can see on screen right there. So those particular characters are definitely interesting, because you've got yourself Devil Dinosaur, which, you know, there's been a bit of a bone of contention that people have said, like, you know, is he coming into the game or not? Especially with how you look at last year's like video with Superior Kangin. It kind of gave the impression we were getting that, as well as maybe well, to be honest, there's a lot of impressions you get when it comes to Kabam, and a lot of it doesn't come to fruition. But there's several others. There's Aunt May, like a Spider-Man Aunt May, or Spider-Aunt May, Spider-Woman Aunt May, or however you want to kind of like depict as. Spider-They Aunt May, why not? Armadillo right there. And there's also Captain Ultra and Moonboy. I want to say that's Moonboy right there. So yeah, that and that's really confirmed. So these are characters which, so like there we've got Howard the Duck obviously made it into the game, and Squirrel obviously made it into the game. But it is really interesting to kind of note that these characters could have had a chance at some stage to come into the game. And also I love seeing like the older kind of like artwork that's been put together, these particular reels. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Shout out to Gabe for posting this stuff. And also, just kind of like, as I mentioned, it's been confirmed that that particular dinosaur, which is the one that's on the screen now, that's meant to be Devil Dinosaur, but the one in that particular Champions of Forever trailer I was referring to a moment ago is confirmed to be Demon Dinosaur. So it's a different type of dinosaur. I don't know where that story was particularly going. It may have been an Easter egg or a nod back to this particular time. Who knows? Now, as I said, there's not a huge amount on when it comes to like stuff going down. Kabam are on holiday at the moment, but that was really interesting to kind of like find a bit more about the history of MCOC. Now, on to the Banquet Crystal offer. Now, this has been something that we talked about last MCN, and I was like, well, it doesn't look like it's coming back. Odd that it comes back on the 30th, but at the same time, look, as we said, like, money, like this was a no-brainer for a lot of people. From a value perspective, it is of value. As I said in the previous video, which I did kind of waffle me words, blah, 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 blah. The point is, you know, for 3,100 units, if you go and get an Odin, it is the cost of £90, $100, $100+, $110, whatever it is in your respective countries, compared with what the value you would get from buying them, which is kind of like here at a lower price of half that price in some cases, which is like it's $44.99 for me, $50 for other people. So yeah, it's going to be a case of it's a little bit better on value for purchasing it this way. I'm not saying go out and buy it like now, like go and buy it. Like, here's the thing, right? If you want to spend in MCOC, you're fine to do it. People want that spending money in games, video games, whether or not you're buying a video game, they want to see value for money. If you're not getting any value for money, then, you know, you might kind of not want to spend. But in any case, it's back, and I'm surprised it's back. It's got a longer date with it and time, so it runs for 2 days, which is unusual. Now we're midway through day number 1, and then tomorrow is day number 2, especially kind of ending the year. There may be your New Year's Day offers. I don't know, I can't predict the future. Otherwise I would have told you the Greater Banquet offer. It will come back on Christmas Day like it did last year, and didn't. But in any case, right, the fact is it's back. If you're interested, go and check it out, because I know a lot of people were interested in it coming back. And now we end with arena predictions. Now I did technically do arena predictions on Wednesday, but we didn't know what the featured were because Kabam are on holiday at the moment, so they don't post like what the upcoming champion is on a Tuesday for the featured. But it was King Groot. Hey! So with King Groot, which is a favourite of mine, I'm going with a 90 mil for the 6-star. difficult one to predict because I feel that it will be going in line with other champions that hit up that 80 mil mark. Popularity wise, you need to really get, in my personal opinion, you really need to get like the awakened ability to really kind of ramp home a lot more with him. Not to say he's bad unawakened, it's just a case of like the intense potency of a King Groot and the survivability to take on content and be in there for a long time, having buffs and being in the likes of incursions for a lot longer, as well as other content, kind of for me always puts him up close to that that mark of he's interesting, but he is interesting in a specific way to people. Anyway, in a nutshell, 90 mil I'm going with. The 5-star version, I'll go with 25 mil. Loki, 6-star, I'll go with 30 mil. And the 5-star, 9 mil. Do bear in mind, it is New Year's Eve. It's New Year's Day. So whether or not people are going to be interested to grind out in Marvel Contest of Champions, I kind of feel would put those scores a lot lower. Maybe 90 mil turns into 80 mil. Maybe 30 mil for Loki turns into about 29 mil, 28 mil, something like that. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the results on Sunday, and then we may do an MCN on Monday. I'm still thinking about whether I'm going to take the time off because it's a bank holiday in the UK. There we go. That's been the show. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks very much to those that support the channel as a YouTube member and as a Patreon. You're on screen right now. Also, those that support on twitch.tv/RichTheMan Live. You've got Amazon Prime. Give a free Twitch sub. It's free. Take that money from Jeff Bezos and, you know, help out a small streamer like myself. So, yeah, thanks, everybody. And check out some other content on screen right now. I've got a few more videos to post before the end of the year. So, yeah, look out for those. Some fun videos. And, yeah, cheers, everybody. Check out some stuff on screen. Bye-bye now.